everyone, my name's Danielle and welcome to or back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I wanted to personally welcome you to the second part of my series all about diabetes and how it links to the skin. For those of you who didn't watch my video all about what diabetes is, I highly recommend that you go back and watch that one because we will be talking about some scientific names that I did mention in that video. If you could leave me a comment down below if you have diabetes, I'd be really interested to know if you've developed any skin conditions that have arisen from your diabetes. First off, I would like to start out with my disclaimer that I am a student dermal clinician studying at Victoria University. I do not specialise in diabetes and I do not have a medical background. This video is all for educational purposes. This video does not take into consideration your personal journey, so if you are experiencing any of these skin conditions, please go and see your dermatologist or a dermal clinician, as well as an endocrinologist to help control and manage your diabetes. Now with that being said, let's get stuck into the video. As we all know, skin conditions can often arise because of diabetes. The most common form of skin condition is often infection, alongside cirrhosis and dry skin conditions. Prevention for diabetes and skin conditions is quite high, however there isn't a lot of research out there that actually speaks about the pathophysiology of exactly why these skin conditions arise. Skin disorders often present themselves in both type 1, type 2 diabetes, however type 2 it's more prevalent in, and this really varies on the region of the world that the individual is living in. But something really interesting that I found out is that skin disorders are actually prevalent in 51 to 97% of diabetes sufferers. There was actually a study done in Brazil that considered 403 diabetes sufferers. The study evaluated skin disorders in diabetes sufferers and was found that 94% of diabetes sufferers with inadequate glycemia levels actually had some kind of skin disorder. So it is fair to hypothesize that often skin conditions come from an unstable glucose level found in the blood. Diabetes affecting the skin is often due to a process called advanced glycation end products, also known as AGEs, and also hyperglycemia itself. Hyperglycemia or high levels of glucose found in the blood can often induce AGEs. Now keep in mind that changes associated with diabetes can affect multiple organ systems. Most people are set to believe that diabetes causes a certain skin condition. However, in my research I found that it was quite the opposite. Sometimes a skin condition can actually cause the diabetes. Now back to AGEs. AGEs are formed in the bloodstream and can often be quite harmful. AGEs are formed when we have a glucose molecule and a protein molecule that are combined together. Often enough, they cannot be reversed or changed, so they kind of get stuck together like this. It's called this because we have a protein molecule that has now been glycated. To a healthy person, AGEs happen every now and then and are often just taken out by the body's natural processes. However, when someone has diabetes, this process happens quite frequently. So it's fair to say that high levels of AGEs often means high levels of blood glucose. Now this is where it gets a little bit complicated. Inside the cells of the skin, we have macrophages. Macrophages are also found in the cells of the pancreas and the bloodstream. Recent studies show that macrophages actually cross-talk with other cells present in the pancreas. This promotes beta cell proliferation and pancreatic regeneration following injury. And in the skin, they're responsible for monitoring the skin's microenvironment, which indicates to all the other cells if there's any tissue damage, infection, or stress. And inside the macrophages of the pancreas, blood, and skin, you have the plasma membrane. And this is where AGEs lie, and that's where they're being transcribed and they're kind of doing their thing inside the cell. And connected to AGEs, we have this thing called RAGE, also known as receptors of advanced glycation end products. Now these little guys activate certain pathways within the cells, and this can be split off into two sections. Now we have NOx, which produces ROS, which is something I'm going to talk about later on. And then we have NF-kappa B, which is a transcription factor that binds to different elements on the DNA with the help of other proteins. NF-kappa B then gets transcribed into mRNA, picked up by the ribosomes, translated into proteins, and this is what causes changes within the cell. And these proteins are pro-inflammatory. Now, do you see where I'm going with this? So we have AGEs, which activates the NF-kappa B pathway, which then changes gene expression within the cell. And this results in the production of inflammatory cytokines. So they recruit other immune cells to the area, and they also trigger the production of other inflammatory molecules. So it's the inflammation in the skin due to AGEs and RAGE that causes these changes within the skin. And on the flip side of that, we have the inflammatory skin condition that causes the diabetes. And this is due to the initial inflammation within the skin, furthermore leading into the pancreas via the blood. AGEs can also induce something called reactive oxygen species formation, also known as ROS. And this is what the other pathway does that I mentioned before within the macrophages. Increased or prolonged free radical action can often overwhelm the ROS defense mechanisms, contributing to the development of cutaneous disorder and disease. It is the impairment of these two pathways due to the defect in glycation that upregulates inflammatory molecules and induces ROS formation that is responsible for these skin disorders to form. So it's due to all these different things that affect your skin's homeostasis and basically inhibit this keratinocyte proliferation, which basically means that your keratinocytes, which are your skin cells that are found within your epidermis, keep on replicating and proliferating. And this also affects your keratinocyte migration, which is essential for closing a wound. So this explains why diabetes sufferers often find that they have an impaired wound healing process. And protein biosynthesis actually induces cell death. So you can see that inflammation and cell death are actually the two key factors here. So it's really important for these diabetes sufferers to have a really good glycemia level so that they don't induce these skin conditions. It's also good to note that ages actually alter collagen properties, which is quite interesting. So what it actually does is it increases the rigidity and decreases the flexibility, which causes the collagen to die. When a large amount of collagen is lost within the skin, this can further lead to skin dehydration and irritation. Treatment and management of certain skin conditions will be explained in a later video depending on the skin condition that I'm talking about. Keep in mind that research is still needed to be conducted to completely understand the pathophysiology of why skin conditions arise in diabetics. I hope this video has been super informative for you all, and if you could, I just want to encourage you to comment down below letting me know what skin condition you would like me to talk about. If you are a diabetes sufferer yourself, I would really love to hear your stories about skin conditions that have flared up because of your diabetes. I'll be looking over the comments for some future videos that I have coming up. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have the most wonderful day. Please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel to follow along my series, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!